So it's officially 2023. Christmas is over and the fun times are over, and I think it's obviously really time to get down to the nitty-gritty and the hard work. So I have made a decision on my industry project and I'm opting to do the work-based project. So I will be building a website for the Malvern Medical Group. So I have spent a little bit of time over the Christmas researching various other medical practices to see what's out there in terms of those types of websites. What I'm finding is there's an awful lot of green and blue, which is quite appropriate, I guess, for the industry. But I would like to, with my own website, make that a little bit different, inject a little bit more colour just to make us stand out a little bit from the others. And also, while some of them have the additional features that I would be hoping to add, like the prescription ordering and the online booking, it's not widely used yet, so it would be good to get in there, get all those services set up online. I've also been trialling different platforms to see what's going to work best, both in terms of myself, I suppose, what I'm going to find it easiest to build on. There's pros and cons to every platform, and I'm just really figuring those out at the moment and working out what's going to fit my needs and the business needs best. And also, I'm quite cognizant that whatever I do choose, it's likely that down the road the business is going to want to change the copy themselves at some stage if I'm not available. So I'm really looking to see what's going to suit them best as well. So I guess there's a busy few months ahead and it's time to get cracking. I'm feeling a bit disheartened at the moment. I think I have just wasted a few weeks. I think I probably dove into the website without a clear plan, and that has kind of ended up in everything looking a bit all over the place. I think I probably have been feeling a bit overwhelmed with the amount of content that I've had to kind of seek out and then transfer to the website. And I suppose what I didn't do was lay out a structure for myself to, you know, how that was all going to look on the website. And at the moment it's just looking like a bit of a mishmash and I'm not happy with it at all. And I really think, even though I have spent quite a bit of time on it now that's going to be lost, I am just thinking at the moment what I'm going to do is scrap it and start from scratch. I just feel that it probably won't be quite as taxing as I have the content now, and it's just a matter of once I start the new webpage I can copy and paste this time as opposed to having to write everything. But it's still just it's not ideal. But listen, this is what learning is about, and I suppose I will take a lesson from this. So I feel like things are starting to come together really well. After my mishaps and missteps last month, I really took the lessons from that and I have embraced the art of planning and I suppose project planning and project management. And what I find is working well for me now is setting a plan at the start of every week, at the start of every day, sometimes just to revisit it and make sure that's going to work for me on that day. And in terms of gathering content, adding content, I am setting myself goals rather than trying to, which is a thing I tend to do, rather than trying to stay at it for hours at a time and getting frustrated with it and getting frazzled. Setting these little mini goals for myself, and that's working really well. Then I need to sometimes go back in and retweak that based on if I have other assignments falling due. But I am really happy that it's all starting to come together. I can see it really taking shape and I am happy with the way it's looking, and I think I'm going to be pleased with the end result. And most importantly, I think that the Malvern team are going to be happy with the end result, and that is the main thing. So the Malvern Medical Group website is officially complete. I am really pleased with the end result, and I sat down with a few of the team from Malvern earlier the week and they were delighted with how it has turned out. So all is good in that department. It was a really enjoyable experience for the most part, a very steep learning curve, and there were certainly a few stressful moments along the way, but I have learned an awful lot. I couldn't have imagined a few months ago that I would be able to put something like this together, so I'm really proud of that. There's just one thing we will need to work on before we go live with the website. The scheduling software on Wix just doesn't really meet the business needs. It needs to be a little bit more complex to meet their needs. So both myself and Owen from Malvern will look at a few bespoke software programs over the next few weeks, and we will implement one of those before going live. I've also spent a bit of time over the last few weeks putting together a brand hub for Malvern on Canva. And that's basically so that all my hard work doesn't get undone as soon as my back is turned. So what that does, it will allow them to make Facebook posts and Instagram posts without undoing my good work by using the same colour schemes and fonts, and just, I suppose, keeping the brand there that I have set up for them now. So all is good, and I will run through in a little bit of detail the website and a quick overview of the whole thing. So here we have the final product, the Malvern Medical Group website. So I'm really happy with the homepage and how it looks. I think it's quite appealing. It's a little bit different from the general blues and greens, and I'm really happy with my 4 colour boxes, each one representing a location. And then at the top bar, and this runs across all of the pages on the site, this really important aspect of having all the contact telephone numbers there prominent throughout the site. This was really one of the key things in the website. And again, this schedule your appointment online booking tab, which runs across all pages as well. So we can click into our various locations, and this is kind of a standard page then for each site. Again, they're color coded at the top by their various sites. We have the map location and the opening hours and the contact details. We also have a range of services we provide, and there is extensive detail on all of those services. So that was quite time consuming, but I think it's given a good overview. Then down here further, we have this tab, which again runs across the whole site, and it's just an easy way of navigating people as they move around the site. We just wanted to make this as user-friendly as possible. For our new patients, they can click in here and they will get all the forms they need at the click of a button to register with the practice. And then we have a list of useful links and services, kind of the commonly requested services that people would look for. We then again, commonly asked questions would be our fees for different services. So we have a full detailed list of those there. And again, our prescriptions, which is now a really simple, straightforward procedure. They click on here and they just fill out their details and brings them right through. A really simple, straightforward way of ordering them, even for people who aren't that tech friendly. And then just our contact details. And we have this little blog page at the end, which will be there for any updates, any special days in the calendar that would be noteworthy, and then if there's any updates that we would need to provide our patients for important matters. Obviously, with the likes of COVID, it was important to get messages out to patients, and this would be a great forum to do that. Hopefully not for COVID the next time, but just for things that pop up like that. And so, as I mentioned earlier, the one thing that we're going to change is the booking system. We are going to implement specialised software for that. We just felt this was a bit restricted. While we can choose our location, we were restricted in the number of clinicians that we could include. And just in terms of the service details, I did struggle with that because I couldn't add as many services as I'd have liked. So that is why we are going to go that route. But overall, really happy with the result, really happy with the colour scheme, and I just think it's quite an appealing and, as I said, most importantly, user-friendly website with all the information that is most commonly requested. It's finally May. Although I say that, and looking back, I don't know where the months have gone. The time has just flown by, and I feel like a completely different person to who I was 7 or 8 months ago. Not obviously a completely new person, but I have learned so many new skills over those small number of months. I was looking back over my learning needs, the learning needs I set out at the start of my industry project, and I remember at that time thinking, God, there isn't a chance that I'll get through 50% of this stuff, or that I'll learn 50% of this stuff. And it's amazing, because looking back at them in the last couple of days, I think I've actually exceeded that. I've certainly exceeded my own expectations, so I'm thrilled with that. And I suppose it's a case of, where do I go from here? The world is my oyster, and it's just a case of gradually increasing those skills and keep learning. And that's something I suppose that is very much in keeping with this course, with the whole digital world. It is ever evolving, and I think the learning really won't stop, because you have to keep learning to keep up with it. It's changing every day. I have also learned a lot about myself over the duration of the course. Certain things that helped me through it, certain skills and personal attributes I would have in terms of my time management, my flexibility, my adaptability, and my ability, I suppose, to problem solve on the hop. But then there are also things that didn't serve me so well, and they are definitely things I will keep in mind and take with me going forward into future projects, because I think if I could maybe work on those a little bit, future projects would come a little bit easier to me. So things like not asking for help from anyone, not delegating other tasks to people to ease my load on a given day. My perfectionism is something that I really need to work on, because it does definitely not benefit me all the time. It's great to have a good attention to detail, but I found that I really wasted a lot of hours for myself, like struggling with the same thing for hours on end, where I think even just to get out and go for a walk and walk away from it for a half an hour would have been really beneficial to me, but I didn't do that. I stuck at it, and I, like a dog with a bone, and persevered, and that is something I'm going to put on my wall and print for myself and put on my wall, because it's just something I need to be really careful with, that I can sometimes drive myself to this awful place with my perfectionism, whereas going away from something for a while and coming back to it with a fresh head is going to give you a new perspective, and just keep you a bit more sane. So overall, what can I say? I have loved the entire course. I remember coming in October and just feeling a bit lost and a bit overwhelmed, and I felt like everyone else had such a clear vision of where they were going and what they were doing with this, and I thought, I don't belong here, but stuck with it and really, I think, blossomed through it, and the possibilities are endless for where this can go now. And certainly over the next couple of months, setting up my own website for my own writing endeavours, that's the first port of call, and maybe do a little bit of unpaid digital content creation, just to gain that bit of experience and see where we go from there. So who knows where the road will lead, but I'm really excited.